episode 21 of Business and Leadership Stories. And the beaming Sachin Bhandary comes back on, which means the world is a better place already. Sachin Bhandary and Ranjani Subramanian of the Story Co. are helping companies, startups, and professionals break the culture of MBA speak. Use the power of stories to achieve their business goals with speed and ease. They do this via coaching, consulting, and training. And what Business and Leadership Stories simply means is Sachin tells us a business leadership story, and at the end of it, a wonderful communication or business or leadership tip that we can take away from it. How are you, my friend?
Very good, Hrishi. Looking forward to our chat again as we do every week.
So you became proud puppy parents 2 years ago. Many
That's
congratulations. As coming as it does 2 years too late. and I take it the wife took the lead. Else you would have had a few animals during your bachelor days too.
right. Okay. I hope my wife. The good thing is she does not listen to this show because we live in Mysore. Yes, it is true that. So I'll just get on with it. Actually, we moved from Bombay to Mysore, Rishi, as you know. And when my wife and I got married, Sarika is her name. She was really wanting to adopt a pet, but I think though I didn't tell her that I wasn't into pets or that wasn't really fond of dogs. I just kept telling her, where's the space? How can we adopt a pet in Bombay? We live in a matchbox size of a house. That was justifiable, so she was okay. But when we moved to Mysore, she started, hammering that question into me: when are we going to adopt a pet? Because we had a nice little house with a garden around it, and I still kept saying that, I don't know if this decision is permanent. What happens in a few months, few years? So why don't we hold on to that decision? And then in a moment of weakness, Rishi, there was a dog, an indie dog named Dolly, who used to live a few houses next to ours. And every time during our walks, we used to play with her, and I was really fond of her. And like I said, in a moment of weakness, I told my wife that if Dolly ever has pups, then we will adopt one of them. And as it happens, Murphy's law. A couple of months later, Dolly was pregnant, and she delivered 5 or 6 beautiful babies, and one of them was black in color, just like her mother. And I told Sarika, okay, fine, if we have to adopt one, we are going to adopt this black one. And that's how we got Kiki to the house.
And Kiki immediately drew you to her, didn't he? Is it a she? Is it a she or a
it's
he?
it's she. It's a she.
It's a she.
Kiki is a she.
Kiki immediately drew you to her, simply because of her vulnerabilities, her wanting to be cuddled at the drop of a hat, and
Right.
obviously all of those are endearing qualities. Talk to me about that.
Right. So I specifically remember this one afternoon, Rishi. I was working. All of us were working from home. These were COVID days, and I remember that my wife was playing with Kiki in the bedroom, and Kiki shrieked, and I was like, "What the hell's happened?" I ran into the bedroom to see that Kiki had fallen to the floor from my wife's arms. She was standing, and Kiki was really small that time, so she didn't maybe understand what would be the consequence of falling from that height. And it seemed that she may have tore a ligament or had pulled a muscle or maybe even broken a bone. So I got down to my knees, checked her limbs and everything, and thankfully she was fine. And up till that point, I had tried to avoid Kiki in a way. I thought my wife has adopted this pet. She is the pet parent. I am somebody who lives in the same house. I have nothing to do with Kiki. But in that moment, when I was really concerned about her, she looked at me with those soulful eyes, walked up to me and sat in my lap and gave me that look saying that, Sachin, I know that you don't show your emotion, but if anything ever happens to me, I know that you will take care of me. And I think in that moment, I became a pet parent. I became Kiki's dad, so as to speak.
And being the pragmatic man that you are, you went out and did a little bit of a research on LinkedIn's on the pet care industry and some statistics. I'd like you to share that with everybody who's watching or listening, Sachin.
It's interesting, Rishi, that we do not know the humongous side of the or size of the pet care industry. In fact, India has 30 million pet dogs and about one-fifth of that in pet cats. Pet
Wow.
food market is actually over $300 million. That's about 2,500 crores Indian rupees. And the pet care industry is supposed to take over or become a bigger than $1 billion market by 2025. So about 6 lakh pets are adopted each year, and all of us living alone, double income, no kids. All of this is fueling the pet care industry. More and more people like me are realizing that they can become pet parents, and that's what is making the industry really, one to watch out for.
So the market is growing at a rate of 14% per annum,
That's right.
which is
That's right.
humongous. Listen, all this is interesting, but I'm really curiosity killed the cat. What does this have to do with sales or pitches or startups or business or leadership or communication? And you're the only man who can unveil that for us.
Thanks, Rishi, for the validation. Now, the thing is, when I started this story, I spoke about Kiki and the moment Kiki and I became a family. I work with a lot of founders who are running startups or even CEOs who are running companies, but they tend to only talk about the numbers. So, imagine this: if I would have just spoken about the pet care industry stats and then told you, Rishi, why don't you invest in my company? That's situation one. Situation two is when I opened the conversation with the afternoon that Kiki and I became a family. Then I followed that up with stats and told you, Rishi, would you be interested in investing in my company? The likelihood of you investing in situation two is higher than situation one,
Sure.
right? So sometimes opening with a story or finding your connection with a particular segment, with a genre or with an industry or your own leadership, your own company, and narrating that specific story can actually disarm your audience and then make your information or your message a lot more palpable or something that the audience is open to receiving. So that's the message for today. Even if you're talking sales, talking anything, find your connection, your specific connection with that industry, with that topic.
Sachin has the Win with Stories newsletter, simple, actionable communication tips in your inbox every week. You could subscribe to it. You could go to LinkedIn and find it. And I'd highly advocate you guys hire him to come and speak to your employees. Any HR professionals out there, this man is an invaluable asset. Please tell us where we can reach you, my friend.
Thanks, Rishi, for the kind words. Yes, you just need to type Sachin Bhandary on LinkedIn, Sachin. That's easy. Bhandary, not I. And on my profile, you'll see get in touch or stay in touch, a link that will give you other links where you can either subscribe to the newsletter or even book a Zoom call with me. So, yes, that's how people can find me.
I'm going to see you next week. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot, Rishi. This was fun as usual.
94.3 Radio 1.